All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. My name is Ann Johansson. I'm Community Services Manager at the Indiana Arts Commission, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today, introduce a program that's all about using arts and culture to build places where people feel they belong. So if you would, please let us know in the chat where you're tuning in from, whether you're in tourism, city planning, economic development, a local artist or arts organization. Creative Convergence is designed to support your work and spark new possibilities for your community. So during this presentation, we'll walk through what the Creative Convergence program is, highlight some of the past projects we funded, and have time for questions at the end. We want you to be well equipped and prepared for your application. So let's get started. So first, Creative Convergence is a statewide initiative that brings together cross-sector teams to explore how arts and culture can support community development. So it's designed to support arts-based planning and development in communities that are ready to take the next step. Teams attend a 2-day workshop, receive coaching, and implement a community-based arts projects with up to $5,000 in an early action grant. This program was inspired by the 2022 Planning with Arts and Culture study, which highlighted the need for more intentional, inclusive, and creative approaches to shaping our communities. This fall will be our 4th Creative Convergence cohort. So far, we've funded 26 projects across 3 cohorts all over the state of Indiana. So our pilot round in 2023, a round in spring of 2024, and another in fall of 2024. We're proud to partner with Ball State's Indiana Communities Institute on this program. Their team brings deep expertise in place-based planning, rural and urban development, and community engagement. They'll guide teams through the collaborative strategies and help translate creative ideas into actionable projects. Creative Convergence is open to teams from any Indiana community. Each team should include one representative from local government, economic development, neighborhood or community development, or the business community, one representative from an arts or civic organization, and one local artist or creative. That first category can include a wide range of roles that support local vitality, such as a staff member from a chamber of commerce or business association, a Main Street organization or community development corporation, a city or county planner, redevelopment staff, or economic development officer, a nonprofit leader focused on housing, workforce, or neighborhood revitalization, or a small business owner or entrepreneur with strong community ties. The goal here really is to include someone who brings a place-based perspective and can help connect the arts to broader community goals, whether economic, cultural, or civic. If you're unsure who might be a good fit for your team, we can talk through it. We're here to support you. Creative Convergence supports projects that use arts and culture to address local needs through inclusive, place-based strategies. So here are some examples of the kind of projects that this grant could support. First, expanding access to visual arts, like repurposing little free libraries into mini art galleries with students, teachers, and artists, installing a permanent public art exhibition downtown, or offering creative programming to deepen interest in the arts. Next, creating space for community arts events. This could be identifying and adapting a venue for art and music events through community collaboration, or initiating interdisciplinary programming and developing a shared management plan. Another example would be improving school zone safety through art. So designing creative asphalt crosswalks with students and artists to slow traffic near schools. Another idea would be revitalizing underutilized downtown buildings by co-creating enhancements and programming with artists, businesses, and local leaders, or developing incentives and policies to activate underused spaces. All these examples show how creative interventions can be both practical and transformative, connecting people, places, and purpose. So next, let's talk about Creating Places, which is a statewide crowd granting program run by the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority in partnership with Patronicity. This program empowers communities to raise funds for place-based projects through crowdfunding. And if they meet their fundraising goal, IHCDA matches it dollar for dollar up to $50,000. What makes Creating Places unique is its focus on public space activation and community pride. So it's not just about funding, it's also about engagement. Residents, businesses, and organizations rally around a shared vision and help bring it to life. I've done 2 of these projects personally and can tell you the impact that they've made if you have any questions about them. Example projects could be streetscape beautification and walkability improvements, public art installations and plaza activations, parks, playgrounds, and riverwalk enhancements, community kitchens, farmers markets, and pop-up retail spaces, or wayfinding signage, public Wi-Fi, and local branding efforts. So for creative convergence teams, this is a fantastic way to build momentum and engage your community early, and also expand the impact of your project. The good news is Patronicity will be presenting during the Creative Convergence workshop. So they'll walk you through the program, share some examples, offer coaching if your team decides to pursue a Creating Places campaign. You'll have direct access to their expertise, and they'll help you craft a compelling campaign that resonates with your community and aligns with your project goals. If this sounds good so far and you're thinking of applying, the next thing we'll talk about is some of the ways you can craft a compelling application. So applications will be reviewed by a committee of peers and community development professionals, and teams that are the best fit for creative convergence will demonstrate a collaborative spirit and readiness to support arts in their community, show a track record of community engagement or tackling issues together, and they'll have assembled their team in advance and are willing to meet before the training starts. They'll also understand their community's characteristics and are curious about how the arts can support development. What we're looking for are thoughtful, authentic ideas and teams that are ready to learn and grow together. So, applications will be evaluated in 2 areas. First is team cohesion and continuity. Meaning you're able to provide evidence of collaboration and a plan for team sustainability. Second is community engagement and benefit, meaning you're able to provide inclusive, or you are providing inclusive arts-based engagement already, or you have a compelling plan to initiate it, all for the benefit of your community. So let's break those down just a little bit more. First, team cohesion and continuity. What this means, this criterion is looking at how well your team works together and whether you've built a foundation that can last beyond the grant period. So successful teams start with shared values and clear roles, and also collaboration really is at the heart of this program, so lean into that when you're writing your narrative. Evaluators will be looking for evidence that the team members have collaborated before, or at least have a shared history of working on community initiatives. Clear roles and responsibilities within the team, as I said, are important. A plan for how the team will continue meeting, communicating, and supporting the project after the workshop. And have a clear succession plan for maintaining team functionality and managing team member turnover, like having backup participants if someone needs to drop off. Also, a sense of trust, shared values, and mutual respect among team members. And they'll also be looking for inclusion of diverse perspectives. So across sectors, lived experiences, and cultural backgrounds. So in your application, be sure to describe how your team came together and why each member was chosen. Share how you plan to stay connected, like regular meetings, shared tools, or decision-making processes. If your team is new, highlight your commitment to building relationships and learning together. Also consider adding a quote or short reflection from each team member in your narrative. The second is community engagement and benefit. This criterion focuses on how your project will involve and benefit the broader community, not just your team or organization. So evaluators will be looking for a clear understanding of your community's needs, assets, and opportunities. Also, a plan to engage residents, stakeholders, and creatives in meaningful ways. Inclusive strategies that welcome diverse voices, especially those historically excluded from planning or decision making in your community. And a vision for how the project will create lasting value, pride, or belonging. So in your narrative, be sure to describe how you've gathered input, like listening sessions, surveys, informal conversations, things like that. Also share how artists and community members will co-create or shape the project. And be specific about who benefits and how, whether it's youth, small businesses, neighborhoods, or cultural groups. And if engagement hasn't started yet, just outline a compelling plan for how it will unfold. I want to shift gears here and just highlight a community who was in our pilot program of Creative Convergence. This is Warsaw, Indiana. And their journey exemplifies the power of collaboration, creativity, and community vision. So the Warsaw Public Arts Commission assembled a dynamic team of city leaders, artists, educators, and civic partners. And their goal was to shift local perceptions of the arts from a nice to have to an essential infrastructure for quality of life. Their project, Artfully Warsaw, included a co-created public art installation led by artist Gail Christofferson, with over 250 residents contributing mosaic pieces. It's a citywide arts awareness campaign, also called Artworks, featuring billboards, social media, and storytelling, and hands-on engagement at community events, including fingerprint art and youth participation. The impact was really immediate and far-reaching. Over 500 residents shared input through surveys and events. Local businesses and foundations stepped up with funding and mural requests. The city hired a downtown coordinator with arts district experience to help sustain momentum. Warsaw's team demonstrated what creative convergence is all about, building a culture of belonging through the arts and laying the groundwork for long-term investment in creative infrastructure. So now that you are hopefully sufficiently convinced that Creative Convergence is the program for your team, let's talk about how to take the next step. I'll walk you through how to apply and what the grant portal looks like. Applications are now open through September 30th. You can access everything here from our website. Once you've navigated to the Creative Convergence page, just click on the Fall 2025 Cohort tab, outlined in red. You'll find the guidelines, evaluation criteria, and the link to the grant portal here. And once you're in the grant portal, you'll log in. If you haven't submitted a grant with us before, you'll click on the Create a New Account to register. And if you run into issues or have questions, please don't hesitate to contact our office. You'll find contact information right here on the homepage. After logging in, you're ready to submit your initial application to join the Creative Convergence cohort. And note that this is not the grant application, just the entry point to participate in the workshop and the program. Next, let's walk through what happens if your team is selected for Creative Convergence. So selected teams will be notified and officially welcomed into the cohort on October 14th. So at this point, you're preparing to attend the in-person workshop, and you'll work with ICI, Indiana Communities Institute, on $1,000 travel stipend for your team. November 4th through 5th is our Creative Convergence workshop in Fishers. This 2-day workshop really is the heart of the program. So teams will explore arts-based community development, build project ideas, and connect with peers and coaches. You'll hear from panelists, past participants, and artists as well. So participation in the workshop automatically makes a team eligible for a $5,000 early action grant. And there's no separate competitive process for that, but you will go back in and reapply. So November 18th, this is our project development webinar. It's a virtual session to help your team refine your ideas and prepare for your grant proposal. This includes guidance on budgeting, timelines, and community engagement strategies. December 1st through the 12th are coaching calls. So this is where you'll receive one-on-one support from Indiana Arts Commission and Ball State staff. You'll also receive tailored feedback and help shaping your final proposal. And we'll walk with you through every step from idea to implementation. So no worries. January 29th, this is when your final proposal is due. You'll return to the grant portal and submit your full early action grant application. So this will include the project description, timeline, budget, community engagement plan, team bios and roles. No matches required for this grant, and it's paid in full at the start of the grant period. Award notifications will go out February 6th. This is when teams will be notified that their project has been approved and funding is on the way. Funds may take up to 90 days to arrive, so planning ahead is really key here. March 1st, 2026 through February 28th, 2027 is the grant period. So this is when your team will implement your project during this window. You'll also participate in 3 virtual coaching sessions to stay connected and supported during that time. If your team wants to do a larger project that exceeds the $5,000 grant, you can opt into the Creating Places crowd granting program. We just ask that you notify us by March 31st, 2026, if you plan to pursue this route, because that way Patronicity can have time to get you up and running and you can launch your campaign. A reminder that successful campaigns through Creating Places can receive up to $50,000 in matching funds from IHCDA. So this is a great route if you have a larger project in mind. March 16th, 2027 is when your final report will be due. So this is when you'll submit a final report detailing the outcomes, engagement, and the impact of your project. You'll include narrative reflections, participant data, and documentation of the project. And that's the timeline of Creative Convergence. Before we wrap up, I'd love to ask if there are any folks here who've participated in Creative Convergence before. If so, feel free to share a quick reflection or insight in the chat or during Q&A. Your experience can be really helpful for others who are just starting to explore the program. So if you've participated, please let us know. And with that, I will open it up for questions. Thank you again for joining today. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to explore what's possible in your community. If you don't have any questions now and you want to reach out afterward, feel free to drop me a line.